Okay, as you can see, my poor old camera is needs some repair. So the issue is, we can see this front corner of the battery box is, trying to get, there we go. That's broken off. There's a tab there that's supposed to hook on the front. And I've decided to solve that problem with a screw. So I put this glued this plastic piece on. You can see there's a hole there. I'm going to put a little bolt up through these nuts. And I initially glued it all together with a bit of E6000 to hold it in place, and now to make sure it's real sturdy when it gets to the stress of holding that corner shut, I am going to apply a bit of JB Weld here. So I always have a hard time getting my quantities similar with JB Weld because the black component is always very stiff and the white component is very runny, so I like to lay out my little runs and let them settle a bit and look to double check that I think I've got comparable amounts. You see I got a little more black there, so I'm gonna, alright, got out a bit more black there, so I'm just gonna mix this real thoroughly. One of the reasons I like JB Weld, like obviously it's strong, but I like longer set epoxies is because with say 5-minute epoxy, you have 5 working minutes before it starts to set up and you shouldn't be messing with it anymore. And I am always worried I'm not mixing it thoroughly enough. So by using a longer set epoxy, a 15 or 30 or 60-minute, or JB Weld is, I think, 24 hours, you have some working time, so you can take your time mixing it very thoroughly and making sure it's thoroughly and clearly mixed. And also I find that because of the extra time that the reaction has to gets to perform and set, if you get the ratios off in a longer set epoxy, it will still work relatively well. I mean, you need to get the epoxy, you need to get the ratios perfectly or very close to correct in order to get the best results. But you know, like with the JB Weld, it can be hard to get precise, and if you make a mistake, as long as you mix very thoroughly, it will usually set. So that's mixed very thoroughly. Get my toothpick here and just get it built along the body of the camera and then over the top. And I don't want to push any material down between those nuts too far because I don't want it to get in by the threads. Just want to make sure that I'm getting good fill there. And didn't get any in. and that's over the top. So that's that. And now this I want to push in to fill the gap on this door. Get it to travel up underneath that plastic piece. Alright, there we go. You can see on the back side the JB Weld is all around this plastic part, and then I've got it over the top of the nuts that I've glued to the front of the camera case here. And then when I've got that all, when I've let that set 24 hours, then that will be all fastened on, and I'll be able to just put the tiny bolt in there to hold this corner shut so that the batteries stay in on this old camera. So anyhow, that will be that, and hopefully that'll hold this camera together for a little while longer, and it'll give me some time to think about getting a new one.